Hey everybody, it's me, Gregory Mannarino. It is Friday, December 14th, 2018. What a day. I have so much I want to talk about. I almost don't know where to start. I guess we're going to start off today with the COD. You know, the Confederacy of Dunces. Specifically, CNBC. You know, deep down inside, I really don't know how I feel about these people. I would love to hear your take on it. But let's talk about what's going on here. Stocks got walloped today. The Dow Jones Industrial Average fell 500 points. Now, before I talk about anything else, I want to put a perspective on this for you. And this is not just CNBC. This is Bloomberg, Fox Business. I flip around to these things, and I try to take in what's coming out of the mouths of these very nice people. They just cannot understand what's going on. I mean, they're sitting here baffled, scratching their head, talking with each other, bringing people on the show, trying to figure out what's going on. They're like, well, you know, our economy is so strong, so what's going on here with the market? They seem to have lost touch with the reality that suppressed interest rates for longer than an entire decade have caused distortions in these markets that are now becoming real. The only purpose, I mean, this is not me making this up. This is the truth. This is what the Federal Reserve had said they wanted to do, and they were successful. By suppressing rates, they opened the doorway for cash to flow into the stock market, into the real estate market, reinflating these bubbles. This is what they literally come out publicly stating. CNBC, all of the CODs are well aware of this mechanism. So what we're seeing now, it seems to be surprising them for some reason. In this environment, we are in a global slowdown, despite the fact that world central banks are continuing to keep their foot to the floor, propping everything up. I mean, they just don't get it. And they think you're stupid. And that's what bothers me more than anything else. They just can't understand that maybe you are smarter than they are. They got to keep you in the dark. They can't allow you to understand what's actually going on. Maybe they really don't know what's going on, the Confederacy over there. I find that kind of hard to believe. They can't be that dumb. It's impossible for anyone to be that dumb, especially sitting in front of a camera on a national or international show. But maybe that really is the case. It's too much. Now, let's talk about a few other things. The dollar got stronger today on global fears. Again, knee-jerk into the dollar, knee-jerk into the dollar. Whenever there's geopolitical strife, whenever there's fear in the market, knee-jerk into the dollar. You know how this works. It's very simple. There was also a slight knee-jerk into debt, the debt market. Debt got bought up today. Okay. Cryptocurrencies, I have to say, took a beating today. Bitcoin down to around $3,100. Remember I told you a friend of mine who trades cryptos, I talked about it this week. His short-term target on Bitcoin was $2,800. I think he's going to nail it. I'll be honest with you. And I promised I would, well, you know what? I'm not even going to talk about that. Anyway, let's talk about a few other things that are very, very interesting. How many of you out here, now don't be afraid to put your hand up. I'm not going to yell at you. Hands up. How many of you remember this guy telling you that this fake market, understanding how it works, get your hand up, is our strength? All right. Well, it is our strength. We know what they're going to do before they do it. And I want to give you a classic example of that today. Earlier, when the stock market was down about 400 points, I posted on all my social networks and I tweeted, I said, watch what they're going to do. You're going to see some fake stories floated out with regard to China trade. This is an incredible thing, and I'm actually going to show this to you. So I tweeted this out. Here's the tweet. I don't know if you can read that from where you are or see the timestamps. Look at the one underneath, Greg Mannarino. Wait for it. With stocks down, now nearly 400 points, fake China trade stories will be floated out in an attempt to stop the bleeding. Wait for it. The timestamp on there says 10 minutes. At 9 minutes, 1 minute after, 1 stinking minute after I tweeted that, President Trump tweets this. China just announced that their economy is growing much slower than anticipated because of our trade war with them. They have just superseded U.S. tariff hikes. U.S. is doing very well. China wants to make a big and very comprehensive deal. It could happen, and rather soon. I mean, are you freaking kidding me? I have no psychic power, but we know what they're going to do. And another thing, this isn't the first time I've nailed something like that with regard to these stories getting floated out. If our president is really so smart, how come I was able to tell you what he would do for you people that believe Trump is playing 5D chess out here before he's going to do it? This is fake. This is a fake story. Floated out to stop the bleeding in the market. He actually is the king of fake stories. And again, I support the president. I want him to succeed. But this is freaking credible. Freaking credible. I mean, he totally complies with me, almost like, I had some kind of psychic input into what was going to happen, and I don't. It's just so easy to understand what they're going to do. They have no choice, and more fake stories are going to be floated out here. Let's talk about a couple of other things that I think you're going to find interesting and kind of aggravating. Got to me today, there's no doubt about it. So, it appears that Barclays, yet another bank, is getting caught up in a metals rigging scheme. I mean, I was on the phone with Greg Hunter earlier. I said, Greg, I'm actually losing count. What are we up to, 6 or 7 banks? Greg says it's 7. I think it's 6. Maybe he's right. This is in the past year alone that have been caught either red-handed or have been implicated in rigging the metals markets. Now, have you heard of one arrest of a management person, even lower management? Not one arrest. No regulatory agency looks into this, gives it any attention. It's just an incredible thing. I mean, you would imagine with now, let's use my number. It's 6. 6 banks in the last year. Oh, you want to use Greg's number? Greg is smarter than I am, I think. He says 7 over the past year that have been caught doing this. Where's the investigation? Why isn't anyone looking into it? Where are these regulatory agencies? They obviously know what's going on because you know it. I know it. It's common knowledge. But they don't even dream of looking at it because they're involved. Obviously, this is the biggest charade in the history of the world, just like everything else is. There's no doubt about it. None. Anyway, I don't even know what to say about that, but I would love to hear from you. And you all know, I have written to every single regulatory agency that you can think about. I've even written to the President of the United States, Donald Trump himself. Maybe he would look into it. I'm still waiting for a response from somebody. It's really the truth. It's totally nuts. Anyway, so I think you understand this. Look, is this market about to become real? It very well might be. Every effort is still going on to keep it propped up. But we are hitting that point of maximum saturation where no matter what they do, it's going to correct to fair value. It's going to happen, and it's going to take most people by surprise like you have no idea. Not you. Not you. I am certain of that. You all know what's going on here, how this is going to play out, the rigged game, the charade, how we're able to predict what's going to happen before it happens because it's so rigged. Never before in history, I don't think ever have we seen a market like this with the rigging going on like this off the Richter scale. It's so huge. It really is. And people are going to sit there and watch the Dow drop, and go, but wait a minute. Our economy is so strong. We've created all of these jobs. They're temporary jobs. You know that. They're all going to go away. They're going to disappear as we fall into the second Great Depression, which is going to eclipse the last one by exponents. It's the truth. There's no doubt in my mind, and I'm sure you're right there. Anyway, people, let's see how this plays out moving into next week. Going to be very interesting. There's no doubt about it. And I honestly can't wait for it. But you know what it is? It's Friday. And that means I get to be off for a couple of days. I will miss all of you. That's the truth. And I love all of you. I mean that too. We are all responsible for each other. Let's get these messages out there. Please share this video if you think it's important. And I'm going to leave you off with what I always do every Friday. Love each other, care about each other, and be charitable, because all of this is going to become real. And all we're going to have is each other to depend on at that point. I am sure you are aware of that. Again, I love all of you. I will see you on Sunday, actually, when I do my lovely markets. A look ahead. See you then.